Hi, I'm Wali Heather, and in this tutorial, I will brief you about the four pillars of entire tutorial. Learning iOS development include many things like Cocoa Touch, Objective-C, Xcode, Auto-Release Spool, View Controllers, and many more things. But most of the time, you don't understand the proper order of learning. You don't understand how to manage these things, which part of the tutorial should come first and which should start later on. So I have divided entire tutorial into four part, that is tool, language, design and process. So the first step is to know about tool on which you are going to work. You need to know about your tool, its different component and how these component works, how they communicate with each other. Once you understand tool, you should jump to language. You need to know about Objective-C, Cocoa framework and other supporting framework to Objective-C. And the third part is design. Not to make your application look good, but to choose right element to create right application. And the final thing is process. You need to follow Apple rules while developing application, testing your application, for provisioning your device, submitting your application to App Store. For every single step, you need to follow Apple's rule. Hi, I'm Wali Heather, and this is second part of the tutorial. In this tutorial, you will learn about the prerequisite of iOS development. So in last video you got great idea about iPhone development environment. So now the first thing is that we need to understand about the prerequisite of iOS development. The iOS development tool, that is Xcode, is not cross-platform. You must need a Mac Intel based machine. It has to be Leopard or Maverick operating system. You can check about your system by clicking Apple sign, which is on top left corner. Here you will get an option about this Mac. Click on that option and it will open a screen which will tell about your system's configuration. Here, for example, in my system it has OS X operating system version 10.9. Processor of my system is 2.5 GHz Intel Core i5 and RAM of my system is 4 GB. You can check more in detail about your about your system by clicking more info button. So it will open a new screen with different tabs like overview, displays, storage, memory. So the overview of my system is MacBook Pro 30 13-inch display. Processor is 2.5 GHz, RAM is 4 GB and all. You can check your display information, you can check about your RAM. My system is having 4 GB RAM with two different slots. One is of 2 GB and another one is also 2 GB. You can also check about your hard disk. My system is having 500 GB hard disk, SATA disk. So as far as hardware is concerned, then we are ready to go ahead. Now we only need Xcode tool to start development, and that you can download from Apple site. Apple provide all their product on their portal, which is developer.apple.com. And one more thing is iPhone device. You need iPhone device to test your application, but as of now you don't need any device because you can test your application on a virtual device. Xcode provide a virtual device which called simulator. On simulator you can test your application. So in beginning there's no need of iPhone device. So open up your browser, go to Apple's portal, that is developer.apple.com. Once you will open Apple's portal, you will find some options like iOS developer program, Mac developer program, and all. So, as of now, there's no need of these programs. One thing you need is that is you need to be a registered member of Apple. You can register yourself by clicking on Member Center. Once you will click it, this screen will open with which will ask about your login credential. If you are already registered, you can log in from here. If you are not, you can register yourself by clicking register button. I have registered myself, so I can log in by entering my credential. Once you will enter your credential, you can download all Apple's product. Here we need Xcode 5. So click on download button, download option, and it will download it. So I have already downloaded Xcode. Here you can see I have Xcode 5 DMG file. So click on that DMG file. It will open a new screen. Here there's no need to click install or next. You just need to drag Xcode DMG file to your application folder. Once you drag and drop, it will be installed. So I have already installed it, so there's no need to go with these options. You can check whether it is installed or not. You can search your application on search bar. Xcode, yes, it is installed because X that is coming in my search result. Click on Xcode. If you have already developed some application, it will ask about the application, which application you want to open with Xcode. So I want to open tutorial. See, this is Xcode which is installed. Hi, I'm Wali Heather, and this is second part of the tutorial. In this tutorial, you will learn about the prerequisite of iOS development. So in last video you got great idea about iPhone development environment. So now the first thing is that we need to understand about the prerequisite of iOS development. The iOS development tool, that is Xcode, is not cross-platform. You must need a Mac Intel based machine. It has to be Leopard or Maverick operating system. You can check about your system by clicking Apple sign, which is on top left corner. Here you will get an option about this Mac. Click on that option and it will open a screen which will tell about your system's configuration. Here, for example, in my system it has OS X operating system version 10.9. Processor of my system is 2.5 GHz Intel Core i5 and RAM of my system is 4 GB. You can check more in detail about your info about your system by clicking more info button. So it will open a new screen with different tabs like overview, displays, storage, memory. So the overview of my system is MacBook Pro 30 13-inch display. Processor is 2.5 GHz, RAM is 4 GB, and all. You can check your display information. You can check about your RAM. My system is having 4 GB RAM with two different slots. One is of 2 GB and another one is also 2 GB. You can also check about your hard disk. My system is having 500 GB hard disk, SATA disk. So as far as hardware is concerned, then we are ready to go ahead. Now we only need Xcode tool to start development, and that you can download from Apple site. Apple provide all their product on their portal, which is developer.apple.com. And one more thing is iPhone device. you need iPhone device to test your application, but as of now you don't need any device because you can test your application on a virtual device. Xcode provide a virtual device which called simulator. On simulator you can test your application. So in beginning there's no need of iPhone device. So open up your browser, go to Apple's portal, that is developer.apple.com. Once you will open Apple's portal, you will find some options like iOS developer program, Mac developer program, and all. So, as of now, there's no need of these programs. One thing you need is that is you need to be a registered member of Apple. You can register yourself by clicking on Member Center. Once you will click it, this screen will open with which will ask about your login credential. If you are already registered, you can log in from here. If you are not, you can register yourself by clicking register button. I have registered myself, so I can log in by entering my credential. Once you will enter your credential, you can download all Apple's product. Here we need Xcode 5. So click on download button, download option, and it will download it. So I have already downloaded Xcode. Here you can see I have Xcode 5 DMG file. So click on that DMG file. It will open a new screen. Here there's no need to click install or next. You just need to drag Xcode DMG file to your application folder. Once you drag and drop, it will be installed. So I have already installed it, so there's no need to go with these options. You can check whether it is installed or not. You can search your application on search bar. Xcode, yes, it is installed because X that is coming in my search result. Click on Xcode. If you have already developed some application, it will ask about the application, which application you want to open with Xcode. So I want to open tutorial. See, this is Xcode which is installed. Hi, I'm Wali Heather and this is third tutorial. In this tutorial we will learn about Xcode and its basics. In last tutorial we have seen how to install Xcode. So we have installed Xcode in our machine. So in this tutorial we will learn about the Xcode. There are some programs which we will use while developing our application, but not as much as the Xcode. We will spend most of our time on Xcode. Now the question is, what is Xcode? Xcode is nothing but the IDE, that is integrated development environment like Eclipse and Visual Studio. Second question is, what Xcode does? And the answer is, it organizes your code, it organizes different files, wrap up all files and code, and give name project. So let's start with a new project. Open up Xcode, go to the menu File, pick option New, and in New select Project. Shortcut for creating new project is Command Shift N. So click New Project. It will open up a new screen with predefined templates like master detail templates, OpenGL, page-based application, single view application, tabbed application, utility application, empty application, and sprite kit application. We will discuss each of these templates, but as of now we will select single view application. Click on next. Here you can add, you can give your project name. So here I'm gonna give my project name tutorial underscore one. One more thing is devices. From here you can select different device like iPad, iPhone, universal. It means if you will select iPad, it means you are going to develop application for iPad. If you select iPhone, means you are going to develop for iPhone. If you will select universal, it means this application can run on both iPhone and iPad. So I'm gonna select iPhone, click next. In this step, it will ask for your directory, on which directory you want to save your project. So I will select desktop. You can select your any directory like users, Macintosh. So I'm gonna select desktop. Click on create. So what it has done, it has created a folder with our application name inside desktop folder, and it has added all starter file in that. If I went to look at that on desktop folder, I will find a folder here, tutorial 1. And if I open this folder, I can see some folders, one file which is .xcode project. If I double click on this .xcode project file, it will open my project which I have created on Xcode. So these are the file on which we are going to work. So open Xcode. Now let me discuss about these panels. Here we have left panel, right panel, middle section. On left we have groups and files which shows what is in project. We can see we have full bunch of codes like this. We have .h file, we have .m file, some storyboard file. So it has segregated different kind of file in different groups. Like in tutorial underscore 1 we have .h.m file. In product we have .f file, .x test file. In framework we have all .frameworks file. So it has segregated all different file in different group. So let me discuss about middle section. If we open any of this group, we can see that there are several file, but most important file is .h and .m file, on which we are going to concentrate. If we click any of this file, its code will open on editor, which is middle section. If we double click on any of this file, it will open up on new window. And if we talk about Xcode's code editor, then Xcode code editor uh, reduce your coding effort by suggesting keywords, by uh, adding missing keywords. For example, if I type open curly braces and if I only enter, it will automatically add close curly braces. And if I type at the rate, it will suggest all keywords which starts with at the rate. For example, suppose I want to type private. When I will press P R, it will suggest all keywords starts with PR. Here we have protected and private. No, I want private. So go to the private and press enter. So it reduced your coding effort. You don't need to type everything. It will suggest keywords. It will add keywords if it is missing. For example, as I shown you, when I typed open curly braces, it automatically added close curly braces. And we also have some buttons on the top like this play button, stop button. If we press this play button, it will compile our code, it will build it, and it will run it. And if we press this square button or stop button, it will stop our running code. And you can also select your device, on which device you want to run your code. Here I have selected iPhone. When you will press on it, a list of simulator will come. Here we have three simulator: iPhone, iPhone Retina 3.5 inch and iPhone 4 inch. It will also show a list of actual device. Currently no device is connected with my system, that's why iOS device is coming. Once you will connect any actual device, the name of that device will come here and you can pick that device by clicking on it, and you can run your code on actual device by clicking this play button. So currently I don't have any device and that device is not connected with this system. So I will select iPhone simulator or iPhone 3.5 inch simulator. So this was all about Xcode basics. We will explore more about Xcode in next tutorial. We will also discuss about interface builder. We will also discuss about this right panel, these sections, everything. Hi, I'm Wali Hadar and this is fourth tutorial. In this tutorial, we will learn about interface builder. In previous tutorial, we have learned about Xcode, Xcode basics and its different components. We have seen how Xcode segregate different kind of file in different groups. We have also seen the different kind of files handled by Xcode. As we can see here also, it has .h file, app.delegate.m file, viewcontroller.h file, viewcontroller.m file, and a file with extension .xib. This is the file on which we are going to concentrate in this tutorial. If we click on this file, a view will open on the editor, and we can see that the size of this view is very similar to iPhone device. So one can understand this is the view which you will see on iPhone while running your application, and you can design this view according to your requirement. Whatever you want on your screen, you can design it here. And let me discuss about this right section, right panel. In right panel we have two sections basically. The upper section, which tells about the property of UI objects, and lower section which contains object library. Which object? That is user interface objects. As we can see that label, button, segment, these are nothing but the user interface objects. Now let me create a scenario for our application. Suppose we want a screen, first screen on which we want a label on the top with text welcome, and two text fields we want. One is for user ID and second one is for password. And finally we want a button on the bottom with text login. So first thing we want a label on the top which with text welcome. So simply come to this object library, go to this label, pick the label, simply drag and drop it on screen. While dropping it, you can see that view is indicating the position of label by blue line. This blue line is saying that this object label is on the middle of the view. So just drop it here. Now I want to change the label text to welcome. So as I told you, this is property section of object. Just select this object, go to this property section, and you can see there are different property like text, color, font, and many more things. As of now, I want to change the text from label to welcome. Just go to the text and change it to welcome. Now we can see that welcome is reflecting here on our label object. Now some more property. I want to change this welcome color from black to red. Now come to this property section, go to this color property, click on it. A list of color will open and you can select any color you want. Suppose I want red color, click red. Now our welcome turned into red color. Now second thing we want is text field. So go to this object library, select text field, drag and drop. You can resize it by dragging it. We want, this is user ID, we want another text field for password. Do the same for password also, and we can see that this blue line is showing that second text field is in line with first text field. So drag and drop it. Now there are three lines. First line is saying that the left side of text fields, both text fields are aligned. Middle line is saying that these two text fields are on the middle of the view, and the right line is saying that both first and second text fields are aligned on the right side. Now let we add some indicator on this text field. We want some placeholder on text field with user ID. So come to this property placeholder and add placeholder user ID, or to make it more simple, enter your user ID. You can see that enter your user ID is reflecting on this text field, and we want placeholder for this password. Enter your password, enter your password. So here we can see that the placeholder enter your password. Now we want a button on the bottom with label login. So let me search where is button. You can search your object by entering keywords. I want button, so go to that search bar, enter BUTT. So button has come, all button has come. I want simple button, not bar button. So pick button, drag, again drop it on middle of the view. Same thing, I want to change the property, so I will go to the title of the button and I will change title from button to login. So we can see that the button's title has changed to login. Now in this button we don't have any background color. We want some background color, not only label. So click on this object, go to the property and find where is background color property. Where here we have background property, and the default color for this background is transparent. So let me pick a color white. Now we can see that the login color, background color has changed to white. So our screen has completed. Now you can run this screen and you can see how it looks on simulator. Build succeeded. It will take some time to launch simulator. Come on. Yes, see, this is your iPhone screen or simulator on which all those objects are coming. Text fields, password, login, all things are coming. So this is all about interface builder. Hi, I'm Wali Heather, and this is the fifth tutorial. In previous tutorial, we have learned about the tool Xcode on which we develop iOS application. We have seen the basics of Xcode. We have learned the different component of Xcode like interface builder and other components. In this tutorial, we will learn about language Objective-C. We will learn how to write codes on Objective-C, how Objective-C component works, and many more things. So before going to the depth of Objective-C, let me quickly go through the history of Objective-C.
So in 1972, C came into the existence. It was great language, fantastic language. Still we have some languages which are based on C, but it was having a limitation. It was not object-oriented language. So in 1980, Smalltalk came into the existence, and in 1983, Objective-C came into the existence. It takes some idea from C and Smalltalk, and they created Objective-C. Objective-C was nothing but the extended form of C. Here, extended form of C means C with some added stuffs. And in 1988, Apple was working on Next and they licensed Objective-C. And using Objective-C, they developed their operating system, Next Step operating system. In 1996, Apple bought Next and they created their operating system OS X in 2002. And this OS X was built upon Objective-C. And because this OS X was built upon Objective-C, they developed their mobile operating system on Objective-C in 2007. In 2008, they launched their first operating system, iOS 2.0, publicly. Means this was the first time when non-Apple developer can develop iPhone applications.
So now let me discuss about Objective-C. Objective-C, as I told you, is an extended form of C. It is nothing but the C with some added stuffs. But what does it means? It means if we write any C code on Xcode, that code would be genuine for Xcode. Xcode will compile it, debug it, and run it. But how Xcode differentiate between normal C code and Objective C code? As in this code, you can see there are some new things for new user, which is like a puzzle. Like we have at the rate, we have import instead of include, we have large braces here. Few things are here which you can recognize, like int main function, and some int argument, some array, some pointer. These things you can recognize, but these things should be a new thing for users, like at the rate and these large braces. So whenever compiler found this kind of new keywords, they identify this is Objective C keyword, and they decode it according to Objective C rule and regulation. Now the second thing is writing of Objective C. How we write codes in Objective C. And first thing is format specifier. So in simple C, regular C, we write string in double quote. As here we can see, here we have a string in double quote. This is a string. If we want to write the same string in Objective C, we will add at the rate before double quote. This is a format of string in Objective C. Now suppose here I want to display a message like hi, I'm Wali and this is fifth tutorial using nslog method. I will simply pass a string prefix with at the rate and using double quote, and inside the double quote I will type the string. But in this string I want to replace two text like Wali and 5 I want to replace with variable name and variable number of tutorial, because I want dynamic value here on Wali and 5. So how I will do this? I will replace Wali with percentage at the rate and 5 with percentage d, and I will add two more variable name and tut number. Percentage at the rate is for string placeholder or format specifier, and this name will come here, and percentage d is for number or integer, and this tut number variables value will come here. This percentage d will replace by tut numbers value, and percentage a will replace by names value.
Now let we see calling method in Objective-C. How we call methods in Objective-C. If you are coming from the background of C-based language like Java,
C sharp or C++, then you might aware with this dot. We access the method of our object using dot, as we have done here. Object name dot then some method name. It means I'm calling method some method of object. But in Objective C, we replace that dot with space and we write entire thing in square braces. Means we type open square braces, close square braces. Inside of this square braces, we write object name space some method. It means we are calling method some method of object. Now, calling method with parameter. In normal language like C++, Java and C Sharp, we pass parameter like this in braces. Like here we are passing a parameter argument. If you want to do the same in Objective C, we will replace braces with colon. So same thing we are doing, we are replacing braces with the colon and we are passing the same argument here. Now the method that returns some value. How we call method which returns some value. In regular C, C++, Java and C Sharp, we simply call method using dot and we take the value, returning value in some variable. Like here we are storing value which are coming from some method into variable result. The same thing we can do in Objective C, something like this. The same calling method and same result variable. We just replace that calling method by Objective C calling method. Now, method with more than one parameter. How we pass more than one parameter in a method of an object. In normal C++, Java and C Sharp language, we simply pass parameter like argument 1, argument 2 and we separate it by commas. But here you cannot identify why I'm passing argument 1 and argument 2 without take a look of this method's body. You don't know anything. You are just simply passing argument 1 and argument 2. But in Objective C, you can add some information regarding arguments while defining the methods. And while calling the methods, in that information you can pass the parameters. Like here, we have the same method, some method, but we have added some information like second argument and we are passing second argument next to this information second argument which is separated by colons here, argument 2 and argument 1. So these are the advantage of Objective C. And the final thing is creating object. As we know that in Java we create object of any class something like this. First we write the class name, then object name, then new and constructor name. And we know that this new and constructor name, what they do, they allocate memory for the object and they initialize that object with some value. The same thing we do in Objective C, something like that. We write class name, then we create a pointer type object, this obj with star, and again we split that new and allocate things constructor thing into alloc and init. First class name, then alloc. This alloc will allocate a memory for object and this init will initialize that object with some value. This init can be vary. You can write your own init if you want to initialize object on your way. So it varies with the declaration. If you have declared it with some value like init with number, then it will initialize your object with number. Init with some name, then it will initialize your object with name. Hi, I'm Wali Heather and this is the sixth tutorial. In this tutorial, I will tell you
how to create a new class in Objective-C. Like other object-oriented language, C++, Java, and C Sharp, you can create your own class in Objective-C. So to create a new class, you need to go on File, click on File, go to the option New, and select option File. And the shortcut for creating new file is Window and N. So click on File, a new window will open up. Here you need to select, go to the section iOS, again Cocoa Touch in iOS, and you need to select Objective-C class. Click on Next. A new screen will come. It will ask the name of class. So give the name of class. Here I'm gonna give name human. And for creating a class, you should start the name of class with uppercase. So I will start this with uppercase human. Second thing is you need to select the subclass of the class, means parent class of your class. If you don't have anything to inherit, here we have NS object. NS object is the superclass of all class. So select NS object, click next. Now you need to give the directory, on which directory you want to save. I want to save it on tutorial1 directory, the same directory where my project is. So create. Now here we can see that Xcode has added two new files in our project. One is human.h file and another one is human.m file. Human.h file is the interface file or the header file. Like other C and C++, we know that we need to import some header files and here in Objective-C you need to create header file for every single class you are going to create. So for my class human, I need to define a header file, and in header file you defines interface, means you defines the things, and in .m file you implement those things, means you add all codes in .m file, and in .h file you just defined the bodies and prototypes. So we will define some interface here on .h file. As all we know that in OOPS concept, in class there are two basic things. The first one is property and second one is behavior. And if we talk about it in technical way, then the property is your instance variable or variable and behavior is the method. So inside this @interface and @end, we defines everything. So just type open curly braces and close curly braces. In this area, open curly braces and close curly braces, usually we define our instance variable. So I'm commenting here something. This is instance variable, or for more simple language, property. So I'm going to declare two property here, or two instance variable, human name and human message. So for name, I need to select a string, and the string type is NS string, and as we know that Xcode suggests the keywords by typing, so I just typed N and S, it's suggesting NS string. So select NS string, give name. Second instance variable is message. Again, message is a string, message. Okay, we have defined two instance variable, name and message. Now I want to define behavior or the method. So out of this open curly braces and close curly braces, here you can define your method. So this is, I'm gonna give some comment that you can understand what I'm doing here. This is public message, method. So here I'm gonna define two methods. One is like set name and message, and second one is like show message. The both method won't return anything. The first method will take two parameter, that is name and message, and the second method will show the message and it won't take any parameter. So we will start with something like this. We will type minus sign. This minus sign shows that this method is instance level method. There are two kind of method, instance level and class level method. If we remove this minus with plus sign, it means our method is class level method. So usually people use this minus sign for making it instance level method. After this instance level sign, we will start the return type. As we know that our first method won't return anything, so we will type void, and then we will give the name of our method. So let's say our method's name is set name and message. Set name that is one string parameter and a string name and message, again a string parameter, that is ns string message. That's it. We are done with the declaration of first method. Similarly we will do for the second one. That one again the instance method and void return type. So we'll select void and give the name set message. That's it. Sorry, show message. So as far as the header file is concerned, we are done with declaration. Now we will implement these interface in our .m file. So go to that .m file, and here we can see that it has already imported human.h file as we do in C and C++. And some warning is coming here. If you click on this yellow sign, it will show the message why this warning is coming. Method definition for set name and message not found. So you have declared the definition on .h file and you haven't implemented in .m file. So you need to implement it. So do same here also. Give the name of your method, which was void set name. So as we can see that Xcode is suggesting our method which we have defined in .h file. So pick that method. Now you need to give the definition. You have only declared this message in your method in your .h file, and here you will define it. So type open curly braces, close curly braces, and define your definition for this method. So I will assign the value name with our instance variable name and value message with our instance variable message. So we will assign the value of name and message. So type NAM, select name and assign the local variables value, which is again name with lowercase. So here we can see here we have two name. One is uppercase and one is lowercase, and both name is assigned with a sign on the left side. One is V, one is X. This V indicates that this variable is instance variable, and this X indicates that this variable is instance variable. So we want to assign instance variable with local variable. So we have already typed name, which was instance variable. So select local variable. Do same with message. Again, select instance variable and assign local variable in it. For your convenience, you can give comment here, assigning local variable to instance variable. That's it. We have declared this set name and message method. We will do the same with show message. Show message. Okay, here one new thing we are going to use, which is nslog method. Nslog is Objective-C version of log method, which is in C language. They have added a prefix ns with log. What does it mean? NS stand for next step. As I told you in my previous tutorial that Apple was using Next and they created their first operating system, Next Step operating system. So after that Next Step operating system, they adds NS before every single class of their library of their frameworks, like NS string, NS date, NS time, NS URL, NS array. Many in every single things they add NS. So we will use nslog here. So what this nslog will do, this nslog will take a parameter string and it will show this string on your console. You can consider this nslog as printf function of C and println function of Java, which takes parameter string and which shows it on console. So we will pass here one string, composed string. My name is, we will put a placeholder here, which is our instance variable name, and my message is second instance variable message, and we will pass both instance variable as a parameter here, name and message. That's it. We are done with the declaration of two methods. We have declared two instance variable, name and message. We have declared two method or behavior, set name and message, and second method is show message. We have also defined the body of both method in .m file. So we will use now this class in other class, and we will create the object of this class, and we will use the object of this class in other class.
So now it's time to create object of your class and use it. We will create object of our human class in main method. So go to main.m file and create object of your class. So before creating object, you need to import the header file of your class, that is import human.h. So we have imported human.h, and now we can create object of class human. So type human, give name obj to the object of human, and create object of class human using human lock and init. So here in this line we have created object of class human using alloc and init. This alloc will allocate memory for object obj, and this init will initialize that object with some value. I haven't implemented any init method, so it won't initialize it with anything. But if I want to initialize something, I want to do something custom, then I need to implement that init method in my .m file. So object is created. Now I will set the value of my instance variable name and message. So I will call that method which I have created in my class, that is set name and message, and we will pass two parameter here, name as Wali Heather and message is Apple Daddy. That's it. The name and message is assigned now. So now I want to show that message, so I will call method show message. Okay, let me run it and let me see what it shows. Built, succeeded, and it's running now. Ooh, so here on console we can see that my name is Wali Heather and my message is Apple Daddy. Run it again. Again it's coming. My name is Wali Heather and my message is Apple Daddy. It means it's working fine. We have declared class, we have created object of class, and we have used method and instance variable.
Hello everyone, my name is Wali Hadar and welcome to iOS training practical session. So previous session was about the basics of Objective-C and basics of iOS, and it was totally theory. So in this session we will demonstrate those basic concepts of Objective-C and iOS using some practical. So this is the first tutorial of iOS training practical session, and in this tutorial we will elaborate the concepts of basic UI components like text fields, buttons, labels, image view and other simple views. So let me quickly go through the wireframe or flow of our very first application. Our application will start with a welcome screen on which we will have one label with text welcome, one background image and two buttons. One is login and another one is skip. By pressing button login, we will start our application through the login screen, and by pressing button skip, we will start it without login screen. It means we are skipping the login screen. What will happen if we press button login? By after pressing button login screen will come and it will ask the user credential like user ID and password. And if user will enter correct user ID and password, and if he will press button login, the main screen will come with message welcome and username. Here for example I have given my name Wali and message will come like you have logged in successfully. And by pressing button skip, it means we are not giving our credential and our application is not knowing who is the user, so it will show the message like welcome stranger, because application is not knowing who has logged in, and the message will come you have logged in successfully. So the theory is done. So let me start with some practical thing. Open up Xcode and create new project by pressing button Command Shift N. Select empty application, go to next, give the name of application. I will give it first, it should be start with uppercase, so I will start first underscore project. Next, and create. I have also uploaded this project to our website. You can download it from there for more reference. So, as I have already described it, once you create a new project, Xcode creates some default files like app delegate files. So we have currently in our application, we don't have anything. We only have app delegate file. So as I have described on wireframe, we need first screen, which is welcome screen. So we will create welcome screen, press command N for new file, go to next and give the name of first view controller, which is welcome screen view controller. Check with nib and press next. That's it. Welcome screen view controller has created here. So quickly go through the nib file. As I have described on wireframe, that on first screen we have welcome label and background image. So first of all, we need image view for the background image. So search image view. Here we have image view. Drag it and drop it to view. Adjust it. Now we want one background image. So I have one image here on my desktop, background image. Pick it, drag it and drop it to your project. Check copy item and finish. So we have background image. So select your image view, come to the property section, set the background image to background.png. That's it. So our background image is done. Now we want a welcome label over here. So we want a label, search label, drag label and drop it to screen. So the text color of label is black, so you cannot see where's the label. So let me change the color of label text from black to white and give the text welcome. Welcome. It's very small, it should be bigger. So increase the font of label, make it 24 and system bold. That's pretty good. Now drag it to middle of the screen. Yes. So the background image and welcome label is done. Now we want two, sorry, let me drag it to middle here. Now we want two buttons, one for login and one for skip. So search for the button. Here we have button. Drag it, drop it to the left corner of screen, resize it. Let me set the background color of button to some color because it is transparent. So go to the background property. Here we have background property. Set the color light gray. Okay, that's it. And give the name login. This font color is not good, it's a blue, so let me make it white. Text color. Here we have text color property. From here we can change the color of button text, let me make it to white. One more thing I want to do, I want to decrease the opacity of the color. So where I will find this opacity property? Go to the background color, click on color, go to the other. Okay, once you will click on other, a color screen will come. From here you can adjust your color, you can pick your custom color, and from here you can decrease the opacity of your color. So I want to decrease it to something 877. Yeah, now it's little transparent, we can see the background of image, sorry, button. Let's copy it, that's it. Now we want another button for skip, do the same for skip also, or instead of creating new button we can copy the existing button by command C and we can paste it using command V. Simple. Two buttons are created, only we need to change the text of second button, change it to skip. Now let me adjust the size. That's it, our first screen is done. Let me run it. If we will run it now, nothing will come because we have not defined in our app delegate which is the first screen of application. So go to your appdelegate.m file, import your first viewcontroller.h, and first viewcontroller is welcome screen viewcontroller.h, and create the object of welcome screen view controller. So the object is vc and create it. Welcome view controller lock init with nib name. Nib name is again welcome view control.h, bundle is nil. So what this line of code is doing, I am creating the object of welcome screen view controller and the name of object is vc. How I am creating, I am calling the method alloc and its method init. Again init is, you can initialize your object with many things, and here I am initializing my object with a nib, and the name of nib is this nib, welcome screen view controller. This nib name I will put here, then this view controller vc will allocate and initialize with that nib file. So our view controller is created with nib file welcome screen view controller. Now what I will do, I will make my Windows root view controller to welcome screen view controller which is VC. That's it. Now my application is knowing that the root view controller of application is VC, which is welcome view controller. And now only if we press that run button, then our application will run with welcome screen. It will take some time to run. Here it is. So our application is running with welcome screen and two button, login and skip. But one thing you can notice, this login and skip button is not working. It is because of we have not implemented any event of buttons. We have just dragged button and drop on the screen. We have not implemented its method, its events. So now what we will do, we will implement the event of these buttons, login and skip. For that, first we need to create the view controllers which will come after pressing this button. So the by on pressing button login, the view will come login view. So we need to create that login view first. So go to the project and create new file by pressing command N. Go to the next. Give the name to this view controller, login view controller. Next, same procedure and create. Do the same with login view controller as we did on welcome. We want one image view for background. Drag image, do it quickly, drop it over here, go to the property section, select property image, select background image, go to the, or you can copy other stuffs from here, copy and paste. That's it. You can copy the coordinate of label from here. The coordinate of this label is 104x and 137y. 104 and 137. 37y. Okay, now we want two text field. So text field, quickly drag and drop, resize it, copy paste. So let me give the placeholder. We want placeholder for user ID and password. Make this password to secure. Search for the secure property. Where's the secure property? Secure. By clicking secure property, when you will enter the password on this text field, it won't appear. It will encrypt it in some format like dot or star, and it will show you password in that format. So user ID and password is done. Now we want one button for login, so you can copy that button from welcome screen, copy it and paste it, select and paste. So second, the designing of second screen is also done. Now what we want to implement the events on the buttons. So go to welcome screen view controller.
And in welcome screen view controller, first thing we will do, we will implement a delegate method touch up inside of button login and button skip. So how we will do that? There are two way of doing this. First is you need to declare IB action signature in .h file. Then you need to define IB actions method body in .m file, and finally you need to hook up or connect that IB action method with button on some particular event like touch up inside or touch up outside. This is first way. And in second way, we can reduce this entire work of declaring IB action on .h file, then defining it on .m file, then again connecting it with the button. We can reduce it by 2 steps only. And for that, we need to take help of assistant editor. Assistant editor can open 2 files simultaneously on editor. So click on assistant editor. As we can see that here we have 2 files, welcome screen view controller.nib and welcome screen view controller.m file. This 2 file is opened on same editor. So let we open here welcome screen.h file, welcome screen view controller.h file. What you need to do, you need to tap on login button by 2 fingers and drag 1 finger from login button to second file. Here editor is suggesting you what you can do. You can insert outlet action or outlet collections. So now drop it here. That's it. Here you can give the name of your method. I will give it login button press, and here you need to select what you want to do. Are you creating a outlet or action or outlet collection? I am creating a action. Now connect. So we have connected our IB action method with login button. So not what we have to do, we have to implement our logic of opening login button in method login button press. So go to welcome screen.m file and go to method login button press. Here next to login button press, we can see one icon like dot. This icon is showing that this method, this IB action method is connected with some object. And if you want to see some more detail, you just click on this icon and it will tell you to which object this action is connected. As we can see here, this method is connected with button login of file welcome screen view controller.nib. So let me write our logic here. We have to open login button. So let we create login screen. So let we create login screen object first. Login screen view controller equals to login screen view controller log init with nib file. Then copy this file, paste it, and bundle is nil. So the object of login view controller is created. Now what we will do, we will push this view controller in navigation controllers stack. So let me write the code for that. We will write it like self dot navigation controller, and we will call the method of navigation controller push view controller animated. And here in parameter we will pass our view controller object vc, because we want to push that view controller in our stack and we will animate it. So we will pass parameter yes animate it. So what this method will do, this method will push object or view controller vc over the current view controller in stack. It means it will push
this view controller on the top of navigation controllers stack. So let me quickly run it. Stop. Okay, welcome screen coming. Let me see whether login button is working or not. Yo, it's working. So as we can see, by tapping login button, this login screen is coming. So now next thing is we will implement this login button as we implemented that home screen welcome screen login button. The only thing will be changed here. We will change the logic. We will verify user ID and password, and then we will enter to home screen. So as we have implemented delegate method of button, we have pushed a new view controller in navigation controller stack. So we will do the same with other buttons like escape and login. And I have also created some rest of the views like home view controller here, and I have designed it like I have placed a label welcome and then a label which is IB outlet. It means this is a object which is connected with my .h and .m files object and which can be changed dynamically. So I have created these things, and now what I will do, I will implement that login view controller file, and I will implement that login button of login view. So come to the method login, and on login what I will do, I will verify the username and password, and in that I will verify in such a way that username and password should be equal. It means if someone is entering his username Wali Haider, then password should also be Wali Haider, or someone is entering like Diktesh, then password should also be Diktesh. If this combination is correct, then user will be able to enter on home screen. So I will do that. For doing that, I will take a reference of these two text field. So I will do the same. I will open it assistant editor, and I will open here login screen.h file, and I will hook up these two text field with one IB outlet action. This is user ID connect, and this is password password connect. So go to login method, and here I will implement with if condition, if self dot user id dot text is equal to string, again self dot password dot text. If the text of user id is equals to the text of password, then this is method. So then you allow user to enter home screen. So we will create here home screen object. For that we need to import home screen, import home screen. To create home screen object here, home screen view controller equals to home screen log and init with name, then the name of nib which is home screen as a string,
and bundle nil. So the object of home screen is created. We will push it similarly as we pushed login screen. Self dot navigation controller, push view controller, then view controller, animate, yes. Now what this condition will do, it will check first whether the user ID text and password text is equal or not. If it is equal, then it will allow user to enter on home screen. But if it is not equal, then what? If this both text will be not equal, then we will show a message to user. That the message will be like incorrect password. So in else condition, we will create a alert view, UI alert, alert, then we will create object of alert, UI alert, log, init with message, init with title and message. Title is caution, caution, user ID or password is incorrect. Remember, it will only allow you to enter on home screen once you will enter user ID and password, and user ID and password should be equal. Means if you are entering user ID Wali, then password should also be Wali. If you are entering user ID Heather, then password should also be Heather. So this kind of combination should be there. Cancel button is okay. Nil, that's it. So now let me run it. Stop. Okay, login. Let me enter user ID Wali, password Wali, then return and login. Whoa. So home screen is coming with name Wali. You have logged in. So let me change it from Wali to Heather. And password is again Heather. Wow, welcome Heather. So as we can see here, whatever we are entering there on login screen, it is reflecting on home screen. Now let me check what will happen if we enter something wrong. The username is Heather and we are entering password, some incorrect password. No, it's not going there. Why? Because it's not going there and it is not showing the alert view. It should show alert view, because we have created alert view but we have not shown it. So we have to show it also. Alert, show. Let me run it again. Login, password is something and something, and login. Oh, user ID or password is incorrect. So now alert message is also coming. Now let me enter correct things. Wali and Wali, login. Welcome Wali. So let me see the skip button, how it working. Oh, welcome stranger. If we are coming from skip, the message is coming like welcome stranger. I hope this application will help you to create your own application, and you can also download the source code of this tutorial from the website.